Wisconsin, Melissa Young, has a very different view of Mr. Trump. In March, she told Trump she is terminally ill and thanked him for his support.
I wanted to thank you because through you and your organizations, my son, who is Mexican American, 7 years old, through your organizations and just being able to stand on that stage with you back in 2005, the outpouring of love that came from that ultimately provided my son, when he graduates high school, with a full ride to college. And it was
great.
All right, Melissa Young joins me now. Thank you, Melissa, for being with me this morning.
Thank you so much for having me, Carol. Good morning.
Good morning. I know you were in the hospital this week, so I really do want to thank you for taking the time. And I noticed you have a port in your chest. Can you just share with us what that is?
Yes, ma'am. I actually, it's not a port, but a different kind of line, a special line. It was really experimental. It's really the last line that they can put in my body, and that's my only way of receiving hydration and the nutrients I need to stay alive. And I formed a blood clot a few days ago, a large blood clot in my chest, and they successfully removed it. And nothing really would have stopped me from being here this morning. So until my last breath, I will speak out about, my experience with Mr. Trump. So I'm honored to be here. Thank you for having me.
And we want to hear what you have to say. So specifically, how did Mr. Trump help you and your son?
Yes, ma'am. Years after competing on his stage at Miss USA, I became extremely ill due to a doctor's medical negligence. And I had not seen or spoken to Mr. Trump in any way, shape, or form. And I was in the hospital really fighting for my life. And that day, I don't even think he knows this, I've never told him this part, but that day I was actually given my last rites. And a delivery man came to the door of the hospital and said, "Here, I have an envelope for you." And handwritten by Mr. Trump, it said, "Must be delivered by 8 a.m. And I opened it, and there was a message from him saying, "To the bravest woman I know." And there was, in that moment, it lifted my spirits where I knew that God was not done with me yet, that there's more for me to do. And he continued to do that, to reach out, to check on me, to check on my son, to see how he was doing, personally calling me on the phone in his busy life. Of course, he has so much going on, but to check on me. And this was before he announced he was running for president. And like I said, my son is a Mexican American, and he has treated us with nothing but just the generosity, utmost respect and dignity, and he has never spoken about it and tooted his own horn about it. He really has been just such a wonderful support system for me and my son.
Well, Melissa, you've heard all that is going on right now, and the other women who participated in Trump-sponsored beauty pageants, they tell a much different story. Are there two Mr. Trumps? Are we just not knowing him? Where do these other things come from, these insults about women's weights in these pageants, and his continued attack on especially Alicia Machado's character?
Yes, ma'am. I don't know that there's two sides to Mr. Trump because I don't know that side of him. I only know him as being a gentleman. He has supported me in my life as a woman, as a mother. And I've seen it also with my fellow Miss USA contestants, that they were treated with the utmost respect during our time competing at Miss USA. We were there nearly 3 weeks, and I saw nothing but tremendous respect from him, and I just don't know that side of him. I've never seen it.
Melissa, when you see this old video of Mr. Trump in an exercise room with Alicia Machado, and he's sort of like coaching her to lose weight, and Alicia Machado said that made her feel, it lowered her self-esteem. She was only 19 years old. When you see pictures like that, old video like that, what goes through your mind?
A few things go through my mind. She was, Miss Universe, and unfortunately, you know, having to be in a bathing suit and compete, and so that comes with the territory, I guess, to take care of our bodies. But and another thing that comes to my mind is that it has been 20 years. It's been 20 years, so it makes me, I guess, question too, why now? Why are we talking about this now? Why is this, it doesn't make so much sense to me. Why not 10 years ago? Why not 5 years ago? But now that Mr. Trump is running for president, that it comes out during the debate. So I'm so sorry that she felt that way, and I would never ever want anyone to feel bad about something.
I think people hear you when you say that this happened a long time ago, but Mr. Trump just tweeted again this morning attacking Alicia Machado's character. Why doesn't he just let it go?
Okay. I can't answer that question for you. I'm sorry. I don't know why he can't let it go, but
should he let it?
Should he? I think that it probably shouldn't have been brought up so late in the game. If there was a problem and she was hurting, I think maybe that was something that should have been addressed a long time ago, and then it probably would have been let go by now. But I think he has a right to defend himself and also to address it. I'm not sure how he feels personally about what's happening right now. I have not talked to him about that. So I would probably myself personally let that go, yes.
Yeah, because you know, some might say that's not really showing the side of Mr. Trump that you know. It's just showing, you know, the counterpuncher that he always talks about.
He has been nothing but he's the greatest man I know, and until my last breath, I will say that I want people to know I know a man that has a heart of gold, and I think he's a tremendous human being. So that's my experience.
Melissa Young, I want to thank you for joining me this morning, and I wish you all the best. Thank you so much. I'll be right back.